In England, we love a Land Rover. There's a Defender over there. There's a Discovery over here towing a horse box. And over there is not the new Range Rover Evoque. What on earth am I talking about? Well, this car over here actually even looks like a Range Rover Evoque. I think it should be the next Range Rover Evoque. Potentially even could be the next Range Rover Evoque. But it's not. It's actually a car called the Fisker Ocean. But I think this should be badged as a Land Rover and then it would sell in its thousands. Now, what on earth am I on about? Well, look, my name's Richard. This is actually a Fisker Ocean that I think should be bought by Land Rover and sold by Land Rover. And that would save what is a really fantastic car. And I mean, it is good. Let me show you a bit around this car and some of its really cool features. And I think it would fit in perfectly with the Land Rover lifestyle-y thing. And look, there's another Defender over there towing a massive trailer. See what I mean? We love a Land Rover. This is an unknown car, but it doesn't need to be. So watch this video, let me explain what I mean. So this is a sports utility crossover type car, much the same size as an Evoque, made by a company called, I'll just take this off now, Fisker. So this is a Fisker Ocean 1 Hyper Extreme Edition. You can see it's the same kind of size as an Evoque. Tailgate lifts up, nice and practical, big flat load area here. And I could just sit on the back of this car now and have a look at this river view. And imagine the marketing Land Rover could do with this, you know, by the beach, by the river, people pulling out surfboards and kayaks and things like that. In fact, I can lower this separate glass window right down into the tailgate and have it completely open at the back here. I've also got a tow bar. If I push this button here, it can release a tow bar out so I can pull a horse box. It can tow 1,850 kilos. There's even a 3-pin socket in the boot here, 3,000 watt capability. So you could have an air fryer, a coffee machine, an electric barbecue. I don't know, you name it. Put in the comments below what you could do. But imagine the marketing material off of this. It's nice and flat and practical. The seats fold 3 ways. And there's a load of storage under the boot floor there as well. That folds away nice and neatly like that. And let's lower this rear window down, which I can do from a key. Then we come down to the side design where these little bits here are actually the indicators, as well as indicators back here, which go along with the thin light strip. These rear windows can actually come down, actually called dog windows. So you can lower this down and you can let some air through the cabin there. In fact, it's even got a California mode where all the windows and that rear window drop down and this huge glass roof reclines back. So you've almost got a convertible. But you've got these practical rugged side aprons here covering the massive wheels, which are 22 inches on this car. Okay, look, 1990 wants its 3-spoke wheels back, but these are big 22-inch wheels with a chunky tyre still. The handles go in and out. I think it's a rather handsome looking thing. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Big wing mirrors, 360 cameras, good all-round visibility for parking with those 360 cameras. It's a little bit inhibited at the back here, but actually, although the back window is quite small, you might have noticed there's 2 cameras. There's one down here which can point down at the tow ball, and there's another camera here which you can see from the rear view mirror. So it's not a huge car, but as I get in the back here, there's tons of space, loads of knee room. I can get my feet under the seat in front, loads of headroom, a nice big flat rear bench so you can sit 3 adults across without being perched up in the middle. There's no transmission tunnel here, so even though this car's 4-wheel drive, it's got 2 separate motors. There's a pop-down panel for USB, sensor armrest with some controls, a digital screen there for controlling the rear seat heating, and these back seats actually recline, so I can sit a little bit more upright and give a bit more boot space, or I can recline this back and enjoy a bit of comfort on a long journey. It's really quite nice. And this glass roof is amazing. I'll come on to that in a minute. So in the front here, again, very comfortable indeed. Kind of luxurious, but also quite utilitarian. It's got some nice soft rubbery durable plastics. Even these kind of Hessian floor mats are easy to vacuum and rinse out. You've got comfortable seats, a couple of phone chargers, a couple of cup holders, but there's some more features too, and you've probably already spotted this massive center screen, so this makes navigating really easy. You've also got music controls on here and lots of car settings to go through as well. Nice big easy display, but actually whilst you're in park you can even rotate the screen round here and watch a film in it if you wanted to. Add to that other practical features, like you've still got some chunky buttons which you could control with gloves even for adjusting the climate control. You've got a tray here so you can eat your McDonald's on it. In fact, not just that, I've even got a tray in here for eating my McDonald's in it. Nice and handy, some nice practical utilitarian functions which are pretty handy in day-to-day life. It's durable, it's rugged, it's luxurious enough, and it's very comfortable to be in. So this is the rear view mirror, where you can use it as a conventional mirror, but you can also flick this across, and it uses that camera at the back to show you what's happening behind, because the view as you look over your shoulder isn't amazing, or in the mirror here indeed, but you can do that, and I think that's really quite good. And would you just look at the size of this glass roof? This can recline all the way back. Like I say, this car even has a California mode. This reclines all the way, all the windows drop down, the rear window. So not quite a convertible, but it's heading a long way there. I know Evoque have a convertible, but that's just a weird thing, isn't it? But not just that, this glass roof is actually a solar panel. And that's because this car's electric. And I'm sure at that point, many a Land Rover fan would have scoffed at the idea of electric. But look, it has to happen. We're heading that way. And let's be honest, Land Rover haven't had any environmentally friendly vehicles, have they, in recent years? Earlier cars lived on for many, many years, which in a way made them quite environmentally friendly, but the reality is now they don't have that product range. There is electric Range Rover coming, but my God, it's going to be very, very expensive when it does arrive. So this is actually, yes, a fully electric car. There is no engine under this bonnet here. In fact, you can't even readily open the bonnet. It's just some electrical gubbins and a front motor, which is assisting a rear motor as well. So it's still four-wheel drive. But Land Rover needs to have an electric product in their lineup sooner rather than later. It's a huge benefit. It means you can buy one through a business. It means you can run one as a company car and pay like £20 a month in company car tax. You can't do that for Land Rover products at the moment, and many a new car are bought by businesses and lease companies to be company-owned vehicles that people can use for personal use. And the tax penalties at the moment are so high for any Land Rover product because of their emissions. It just isn't very practical. So a fully electric car in their lineup would be good. Now, this also has a massive battery, 113 kilowatt hours, 106 of which are usable. So it even has good range as well. In theory, you could do 400 miles in this. In real world, it is a bit less than that, but it's a good long range car, still four-wheel drive, and it's ready to go. Don't think this is some wheezy tree hugger. This car's got over 560 horsepower, 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. It goes. It's something else. It really goes. I think most people now have seen how quick electric cars can be, but this has got a turn of speed you really don't expect, and you certainly don't get from a Land Rover product so far. So again, it would be a great performance addition, probably the fastest Land Rover ever produced. I mean, I remember days of people putting huge V8s in old Land Rovers to try and make them go half as fast as that. So ready to go, a performance Land Rover product as well. So what is this Fisker thing all about? And again, what am I on about how this could or should be a Land Rover? Well, basically Fisker a company, and I won't go into too much depth in this video, but they've been around before. In fact, I've even had a Fisker Karma when I was in the States once. And that was a very interesting car, ahead of its time, a plug-in electric hybrid car. But Fisker was reborn more recently under Henrik Fisker. And let's be honest, recently they've been in some financial difficulties. They've got this car into production, it's come out, but nonetheless there's some pretty substantial costs involved with starting a car company apparently. So at the moment they need some funding really, and this is where Nissan had an interest. Apparently recently they've pulled out, so it's all a bit up in the air what's going to happen with Fisker at the moment. And I think this, like other cars in the past, like a Vauxhall Impera, for example, Chevy Volt, I think they've just misbranded a great car that didn't have the right badge on it. And ultimately, Fisker are looking for investment. Now, the Tata Group, a huge company, own Land Rover and Jaguar. I think they should pick up the Fisker. I think they should even put the Land Rover badge on it, or just put Fisker as a sub-brand of Land Rover or something like that. And then this could be something you walk into a Land Rover dealership and you could purchase, stand next to this and go, well look, 0 annual road tax at the moment, 0 emissions, tax incentives when you buy them for a business, and very, very low benefit in kind tax. Electric cars are in demand, they are popular, it's heading that way. And like I say, I know a lot of Land Rover fans are a bit more like the die-hard petrol diesel, but the demand's there. Look how many electric cars on the road at the moment, and we've got to head this way. It's going to have to change. Change is coming, and I think this is a great product that's ready to go. There are still a few software tweaks that need to be done. Again, we'll do some more reviews about what's good and not so good about this car at the moment, but it is basically a very good car. A few software tweaks which ultimately the Tata Group I'm sure would have the resources to do. Then you've got a brilliant crossover SUV with the network, with the reassurance of the Land Rover brand and parts availability and all that kind of stuff. So in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, I think that's what should happen, and we should save a great car and the name Fisker in amongst it somewhere as well. So let me know in the comments below what you think of my idea. I might be talking complete gibberish and you completely disagree. Politely put those comments down below. But maybe you do agree. Maybe you are a Fisker enthusiast. Maybe you like what they're trying to do. I mean, this ultimately does claim some of the best environmental credentials of any car produced. Its lifetime environmental impact being less than a Polestar even. So a great product that just needs the right branding and the right marketing, and sometimes a change of name is the answer to that. So let me know what you think. My name is Richard. This is a brilliant Fisker Ocean, but I'm a bit worried about their future.